Hey everybody, in this episode, I turned door panels like this into this. I'm in a mad dash to finish my 84 Grand National before GM Carlisle. Watch me work.
Now I'm excited to get started, so I'm going to jump right in. Remember to like, share, and subscribe if you like these types of videos. Drop a comment, let me know how I did, and let me know how you would do your door panels. We got a lot of tools, we got a lot of supplies, so let me walk you through what we have. So over here, I have my dollar store poster board. I have a 2mm foam roll. Here's what's left over. My fabric of choice, a drill, a heat gun, pick tools, vice grips, hammer and a pen, drill bits, scissors, and an X-Acto. Now you may not need everything, but this is a really good start.
Now first off, I need to get these off because I'm not going to use any door panel pulls on my car. There are rivets that are held on the backside that have this cross support bar. We need to be able to remove this, so what I'll do is I'll take my small vice grip, flip it over, and squeeze on this side. That'll keep it still while I drill on the other side. I'll rinse and repeat for the rest of the rivets, and we'll be able to get everything off.
With those brackets removed, now we can start to take off this. But first, we need to take off our felt sweep, which is this piece right here. It's all cracked and dry rotten, and I have a replacement, so we'll have to get rid of that. If you look underneath here, well, first, let's look at here. You'll see that there are some heavy-duty staples all across the inside. But you'll need to attack it from the inside. Let me show you that up close. If you look right there. And now I'm going to put my pick tool right there, and I'm going to hammer on the end and pry it loose. After a couple of taps, it goes from this to this. And now I can take my screwdriver and widen the gap. Inserting it like so, and twisting on the screwdriver, we're able to create a little bit more separation. Now, the separation will really help us in our next step. We're going to take our side cutters, come in, and pry them till they're 90 degrees. You're basically going to make it shape like a fresh staple so you can pull it out the black side. And then it's going to look like this. And now you can insert your screwdriver between the black piece, the felt, and the rail, and just pry it out. Twisting ever so carefully both ways. And there. Now you got separation, and you can do that across the rest of these staples.
And with that do sweep out of the way, we're almost there. We can turn our attention to the trim ring that goes around the door lock rod. They're just 4 tabs, and you just pry them toward the center, and you can pull them out on the fabric side. And now I'm very carefully going over each piece of fabric and lifting it up, separating it from the rest of the door panel. You may want to use this as a template later for your fresh fabric, so be careful with it, don't rip it. For the most part, this panel looks pretty good, but there is some separation between the metal and the cardboard parts of the panel. There are limited signs of water damage. It doesn't feel brittle or anything like that, but I'll show you how to repair this with my Harbor Freight rivet gun. Now, I'm sure you can use some sort of adhesive or epoxy to secure the metal and cardboard pieces, but I like the mechanical connection that a rivet gives. What I do is I just drill out the hole on the metal side, just big enough for the rivet to pass through snugly, and then I use my rivet gun to punch a few rivets in 3 holes away from each other. I'm doing that so when you lay the foam and the fabric on top, you won't even notice the bumps. And the contact adhesive that I recommend is 3M Super 77. You can use contact cement that brushes on, that sprays on through your spray gun, anything like that, but this is the easiest stuff that I've worked with, and I've been using it for years without issue. So you spray both sides, you wait a few minutes, and you just roll them on together. From there, I just trim the excess pieces away, and I start to make my template. All right, so I have my door panel stencil and diagram all laid out. It's 7 inches from the edge of the panel to the end of the dash.
So all of this is going to be covered by the dashboard. We have a 1.5-inch spacer, a 6.5-inch speaker, another 1.5-inch spacer, and then that's where my pattern comes in. I have, you can make this whatever size you want, but I have 5/8 of an inch space in between each diagram, and I have an inch at the bottom because this panel fits into the lower, and you want to make sure that there's ample space for it to slide in. At the end, you're not going to see much of this because the door is really long and the seat probably comes right here. So I didn't bother to put anything there. So with this, now we're ready to coat the entire top in Super 77, and then we can add our fabric right afterwards. And now that I have adhesive on both sides, now it's time to roll the dash panel right into the material. And that's easily done just by lining up the bottom. I'll try to get that as close to the bottom as possible. Push everything in. And then roll the top. All right. And once that comes up like this, then you can push on the fabric side. Now, for mess sake, I did not put adhesive here. There is adhesive on this side. So I'm gonna come real easily, guarding my table. And just throw some quick adhesive down. And if you work it right, you'll be able to do both upper panels with one can. So you'll need 2 cans to be able to do the lower as well. And now we can come over and fold it on. I'm grabbing it like this so I can apply tension as I fold and press down. Yeah. So that's perfect. And now you can just trim off the excess and fold over the edges. All right, so if you look real close, you don't really see the impression. You know, we did lay that stencil underneath there, but you got to bring it out. And here's what you do. You take the round end of one of your pick tools and you trace along the indentation. See? And as you do that, now you're starting to see the definition. It's really hard for me to see the indentation. Here it is. And I like the subtlety that this brings. It's not over the top like other designs. It's just enough in my opinion. You can also lay some heat down, and what that'll do is that'll thin the fabric a little bit and allow you to see it more clearly. But once you feel it out, you're off to the races. All right, and if you like the impression to stick out more, what you can do is you can double or triple up on that piece of board on your stencil, and that way you'll have more defined impressions. But this is going to be just right for me. I hate the pleated look, so this is something new, fresh, and different that I just wanted to try out. Now, onto the speaker. I picked up a set of these Kenwoods, and it matches the head unit, it matches the rear speakers. I just feel like it's going to be a really good look.
The speaker and grill is not obtrusive. It doesn't stick out much. It's not gaudy. So I feel like it's gonna be a really good look right in here. And you see how I have my angles set for my stencil pieces? It's gonna be the perfect complement to this speaker. Because we only wanna cut out a hole on that inner diameter, so we have the mounting surface of all of this. It'll make more sense once I pull it up. Ah, look at that, the stencil's on the back.
Okay, here we go.
There it is, and with the fabric and cardboard removed, it leaves a perfect circle that I can fit my speaker to. Raising up the panel, everything looks to be sitting flush, and it's going to look 10 times better with that cover on there as well. Really classic look, loving it already. We need to be able to secure the speaker to the panel and cover to the panel as well. And I just use screws to zip everything together, and it holds really well. All right, so the final step is putting on the inside window felt. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna line it up just shy of the edge on this side and a good amount showing on this side. I've matched it to my other T-top car and that's what it looks like. And you have the choice of either going with screws or nails. I'm gonna go with screws because of ease of install. And what I've done is instead of the screws that you see in the upper corner there, I'm gonna go with these self-tappers right here. I'm gonna start the hole with self-tappers, penetrating the window felt and the metal underneath it, and then I'll come back with the screw that's supplied in the kit. That way I get to drill the hole and I only have to do this once. And I switch between two self-tappers so they won't get super hot or get dull on me. And there it is. We've got all 6 in on one side. All right, and here it is, all put back together, looking good. But this is only half the battle because we still got to do the other side. And boom, there it is. So we've gotten both uppers all done, put into place. And you may notice that this car does have power windows, but the window switch holes are missing. I'm gonna move those to the lower panel, and I'll show you how to do that in a future episode. But let's get these panels installed on the car right now. I start off by installing the driver's side mirror, and it was easy, 2 10mm bolts. What I should have done before I started to put the glass in right now is put the outside dew sweep back on. Remember, we did the inside on the door panel, but the outside goes in just by 6 screws that bolt right to the door. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to drop the glass to be able to put those in because once it's in place, you can't reach the screws. I finished off by installing new door handles on both sides. And then I came over to the passenger side and I messed up again by not adding the dew sweeps. So hard lessons learned on this side. I was rushing a lot and wasn't paying all that attention and it ended up biting me. But there I am putting it on, and once we get the 6 screws bolted in, we can put the mirror and the rest of the panel back on the car. Here are the door panels all installed. I had to run new wiring from the dash speakers down to the door and 1/2-inch trim spacers for the speakers so that they will sit and fit behind the panel. So that's all there is to it. The door panels came off of an 85 Monte Carlo and I made them work right in my Buick. Let me know in the comments what you think, if you'd have done anything differently, or if you've done custom door panels of your own. Talk to you on the next episode, and thanks for watching.